Good morning, everybody. I'm in the shop again today, but I'm doing something a little bit different. Well, not different for me, but different for the videos. Today I am shooting pictures, as you can see over here, I think. Normally, when I do new miniatures, I photograph everything that I do, mostly. I've only forgotten a few things over the past year or so. And, you know, put them up on my Flickr site. So if you've gone to my Flickr site, you've seen almost everything that I've done, with a few exceptions over the last couple of years, including some stuff that I've done, you know, in years past, but prior to when I was photographing everything. Anyway, I digress. So the other day, I worked on another one of my Space Hulk minis. I did the Librarian, and he got finalized yesterday, although I did most of the work Monday. Tuesday morning he was done. So I just figure I'll show you what he looks like now. And I really like how he turned out. It's pretty nice. And I'm getting ready to shoot him. Actually, I've already shot him, but the point of leaving this all up is so that you can all see what my setup is for shooting pictures. So let's take a look. So this is, oh, I gotta back up a little bit here. Oh. So this is my sort of makeshift photo studio. The backdrop is something I made out of PVC pipe, and the backdrop is actually something called commando cloth. For those of you who may be familiar with the movie industry, it's also called duvetine, but the less expensive version of it is called commando cloth. It's essentially like a blackout cloth that you can use to keep light leak from happening. Makes a good black background. The lights are really essentially the cheapest lights that I could find. You'll find the theme here is inexpensive. So these lights I picked up from B&H Photos. That's bhphotovideo.com. I think they cost me about 90 bucks for the two of them. Maybe not even that much. But they get the job done. You know, they're pretty nice. When I want a white background, I use a poster. That's actually just a poster flipped on its back, taped up to the wall, and you get a nice seamless background. Works great, and it was essentially free. So there's that. This is my camera. Oh, you know what? I'm going to turn these off since I'm not using them at the moment. So that's my camera. That's a Nikon D300 that I picked up several years ago. Actually, right when they first came out. I love it. It's all the camera that I need, and more, really. It's a part of their kind of prosumer line. That is that it really is sort of professional level camera, but really geared towards the non-professional. Although, I mean, you could use it for professional purposes, but it has things like a pop-up flash and other little accoutrement that you wouldn't, if you were a professional, you're probably not going to use. Frankly, I don't use that, but anyway. But when I shoot, I actually use the computer. So I've got the thing hooked up via USB to here. And here I've got Nikon's Camera Control Pro software. And from there I can zoom in. Here, let's take a look at this. So see, now I can look really close up, make sure that it's in focus. I can do an autofocus. just by the pushing of a button. And it goes through the focus. And done. And then when I'm ready to go, I can move it back to full screen so I can make sure of my composition. And then I can shoot. Boom. And then there's the full image after it's been shot, and I can make sure that everything was in focus, everything's the way I want it. With this, I was working with this background you see here. I just kind of wanted to have that kind of hint of a spaceship. I'm not sure that it works necessarily very well, but I will take it into Photoshop later, and then I'll crop a part of this so that you can see the background, but maybe it's not. Maybe you're not seeing the whole image. I did some other ones earlier with just the black. So there is the Librarian on a black background, and there's the rear. And these were done simply so that I can have a really nice view of the Mini kind of popped off of the background. The background is sort of not playing a part in this at all. But being able to do this on the computer just really helps. I can do everything without having to touch the camera. So I don't know if you can see this, but I can control shutter speed, aperture, if I want to do any exposure compensation, flash compensation, which I'm not using a flash. All the controls are here. What format the data is saved in. I shoot in RAW. If I'm doing JPEG, what quality that is. What release mode. I mean, it's like being at your computer, being at your camera, but over on the computer. You don't have to touch anything on the camera. It's all handled from the computer. And really, the ability to do the zoom in and check your focus is really the most important thing for me. I mean, sure, I have a screen on the back of the camera that I can use to do the same thing, but it doesn't get this big. And I can't then immediately look at it on the computer at full size and determine if I've got the shot that I want to get. So it's very helpful. Obviously, this setup, even though I'm trying to be frugal about the various elements of this, it's not cheap. Photography is just not cheap. But you can do a lot of things with a little money. You don't need this level of camera, and you don't need the software that I use to do this. It's nice, it's helpful, but it's not necessary. But there are a lot of things you can do to make your images better, and at some point I will go over those things. But for now, this is really just a look at my process for taking pictures, and I will hopefully have these pictures up later today. Maybe even before I have this video up. So if that's the case, I will put a link in here somewhere so that you can find them. But that's it. That's all for today, and I will talk to you later.